team to stand apart. We'll find out where we're going to be playing as we go through the map veto phase. See where these teams are going to face off.
So, we're banning everything out. Clubhouse and Bank are off of the board. We have Kafe Dostoevsky. So we started the day off on Border. Then we moved to Coastline, and now we are going to Kafe. So a good swath of maps that we've seen so far. But you didn't know the map ahead of time. Does that matter to you? Not really. 67% of you think that Vitality is good enough to take this, and 26% for Chaos, and a 7% for a draw. Pretty dominant for Vitality, even though Vitality have not done well on Mondays. The G2 Empire matchup was super close when it comes to percentages. This one, a little bit more lopsided. Will Vitality break the streak? Will they finally win a match on Monday for them? They've obviously set their calendars forward. They're going to play like it's a Wednesday. If you tuned into the interview with Leilun, their coach, on Wednesday when she spoke with Milos, well, she basically just said that there's a lot of pressure on the team, that they're able to iron things out usually as the week goes on. How much of this is just purely mental? That's the question. Vitality gets first operator ban, and they're going to remove Nomad, a good operator on this map, because, number one, you're going to want to patrol the stairs, and there's lots of run-out potential as well. Obviously, the air jabs don't go off until your feet hit the floor, so if you jump out of a window, the air jabs are not going to be that effective. But you can lock down the very narrow corridors, hallways, stairs, etc. Obviously, that will be exceptionally strong. Following that up, it'll be a Thatcher and Valkyrie ban. And then Vitality's last ban will likely be... There she is, a Mira. You're not going to play Kafe with Mira on the board, but because there's a Valkyrie removed, it means that both Maestro and Echo will be available. And if you really want to be a nuisance, in addition to Mutant Mozzie, you can bring a Castle for Utility Soak, or even a Goyo as well.
So, as an interesting ban phase, lots of hard destructors available here. It's going to be difficult to deal with that anti-hard destruction, though, the ban of batteries, the mute jammers, etc., as there is no Thatcher in play. Gridlock will probably be a staple, but not so for Chaos, it seems, interestingly. Not going to be bringing her on this first attack, or at least yet. Six pick into the Twitch, that is an attempt to deal with Kaids or Mute Jammers or what have you. In this case, it will just be Mute on the defensive side. That is a useful tool for Chaos, but it's hard to get those Twitch drones used perfectly, because there's a lot of ways the defenders can stop them before they get to their target. Vitality going to the top floor first. This is the standard primary bomb site for the majority of teams on this map. Sometimes teams will go to kitchen first, but not so for Vitality here.
Yeah, I think Cocktail's pretty standard for a lot of teams, especially if you know that you have access to Legion, if you have access to Mute, if you have access to Mozzie, because most teams are going to commit to taking New Hatch and Red Hatch, and then go from Piano on over. There are different setups that you can have. You can invest an awful lot in Cocktail and watch the white stairs. You could play aggressively in this bar back store where you can see both Brede and Hungry are reinforcing in that back storage area. You can play inside of the bathroom, or you can separate it by cutting it off, which it appears right now that there are reinforcements going in from Vitality, which means that if they're going to have somebody playing in the bathroom, then their job is going to be to watch the doorway into Piano. Obviously, you can set somebody up on the windows where you get yourself in a bit of a vulnerable spot from on the south side of the rappel, but you can still try to push somebody out. If you look at the lineup from Chaos, they're not really bringing much disruption at all. They've got a Twitch, and they've got an IQ. This is likely going to be necessitated by the fact that there's a Thatcher ban, so if you want to take care of pests, if you want to take care of Mute Jammers, if there are bandit batteries present, if there's anything gadget-wise, you're going to need to rely on those operators, in particular Red Groove and Shate, to take care of them. Additionally, you've got the soft destruction that can happen from below if you want to play on that second floor, which is where you find Renewals and Vito succeeding in the Buck and Ash roll. And then, of course, once those Mute Jammers are taken care of, you're going to run a Thermite, because you're going to want to open up likely that Piano wall, which is where Bibu is sitting with his back towards, and then just to his left, you'll find the bathroom and bar backstore wall.
No. Brawl now. Secretly, we'll get Bibu. So, early pick here for Chaos. Using that very tight angle from the drop down. Hard to land that shot, but it can be done, as it's just been proven. And that's the player by Christmas gone. Vitality have lost a little bit of control in Piano. It can still be regained, but it looks like Chaos has solidified that control in Piano by taking stage on Rappel and Cigar as well. With those two positions, they can then pinch into Piano, and that is a great platform, or beachhead as we like to call it, for the rest of the attack for Chaos. They will now be able to assault the actual bomb site.
Renewal's taking some damage there, as it's just a waiting game for the remaining members of Vitality. But Renewal's is so close. No way is a single goo mine going to stop him, nor barbed wires. Veto takes down Goga as the mute peaks. A little bit ill-advised. This free entry that you saw from Piano will continue to snowball now for Chaos, as they'll also open up the wall leading into the back storeroom, but it looks like it might have actually been impacted. That would be likely Stiggy doing that, because now the wall is closed off. That Maestro cam on the pillar will need to be taken out by a frag grenade. There you go. Good toss from Veto. Very routine. But still, 30 seconds, and the patience from Chaos might end up be their undoing. Red Groove will swing on in now that he's got the right call that he can begin to push. He's going to see the Maestro wins the fight, but Vitality picks up 4 kills. It's going to be Red Groove now in a 1v1 against Stiggy as he takes out 2. The F2 doesn't have a ton of bullets in it. 21, but a clutch from Red Groove. What a miraculous swing on in, and he feeds off of the remaining members of Vitality. Nobody can shut him down. Chaos will take round number 1.
Wow, I honestly thought the Vitality was going to win that in the end when those 4 kills came out in a block. But then the 3 from Red Groove in the 1v3. Impressive stuff, and he gets control of that cocktail balcony to boot. That's a difficult task to pull off, especially from Repel. The fact that he wasn't dealt with as he repelled in was the real crux of the issue there for Team Vitality. But to be fair to them, their Maestro was preoccupied with holding on to the bomb site. And that actually did work out for Vitality overall. I mean, you can't really expect that last person to 1v3 like Red Groove just did. So Chaos take round number 1. An impressive singular performance there from Red Groove. And I gotta give it to Chaos for getting control of Piano and Cigar as effectively and efficiently as they did. However, it did not result in a positive form of control overall that got them the win. It was mostly just Red Groove repelling in at the nick of time to get those 3 kills. I'm really surprised that he had to do that, though. I wish I knew what happened with the whole Vitality holdout by the bar, because that must have been really interesting.
I think it was just from where we saw Chaos's various members, I just simply think that they were pushing in from over towards Piano and Red Hatch. They had no hard destruction, so they couldn't really go through there, and they just ran into that Vitality wall. Saw some statistics in the bottom left of your screen regarding the play of Kafe between these two teams, and Chaos hasn't played it. They like to ban it. Vitality, they've won it 5 times, and while they ban it 2, not nearly as much frequency as you see Chaos do. So Vitality, just that alone, should have a significant advantage. Didn't matter much in that first round because Red Groove decided to clobber everybody en route to a 1v3 clutch, which was very impressive. However, don't factor in the Monday curse for Vitality. They get a negative 20% to their odds of victory every single Monday that they play, no matter what they can do. They'll have to search for some greater loot, I suppose. Maybe
it's a genuine debuff.
Get rid of that debuff. Yes, that's correct. So
actually exists.
One thing also, though, for people who might be a little confused by the fact that Vitality are so good on this map and Chaos ban it often and don't really play it, is that teams expand their map pool from time to time. Now, if you are a team that plays at LAN consistently, then you will often save that for when you were playing on LAN. Unfortunately, Chaos doesn't qualify for LANs outside of the minors that we might see, like a DreamHack or an Allied Esports, etc. So because of this, if you're Chaos, you're going to want to go for broke in the regular Pro League season. If you don't play Kafe, or at least you play Kafe in scrims, now would be the time for you to start bringing it out, maybe bring it into your portfolio for the second half of the season. Anyway, this is a kitchen defense down below for Vitality. And because of this, the second floor is going to be exactly where you see operators like a Buck or a Sledge take up their home. Vito will expend all of his skeleton key. He's got 1 shot left, so he'll wait in case they need it after the call is made, or even in the instance of a post plant. I say that a little too early. I think he wanted to open up that wall, unable to do so. No more soft destruction in hand for the Buck. First altercation might be Renewals, just waiting down Bibu, picking away at his HP, but he loses it to Bibu, who now re-engages, launching towards the main door where Secretly is playing. If Bibu on just a fraction of HP can land a shot or 2, that carbine in the hands of Jaeger can be so deadly, but Goga swings out. Great teamwork from Vitality in order to take out the 2 main members of Chaos sitting by the front door to Bakery.
Big round there from Bibu. And yeah, he's on low HP, but he not only got a kill, but he repelled the attack from Bakery. Shatay making a very loud noise as he attempts to go down the red stairs, stepping on that Lesion Goo line. Raid will get another. Vito, as he pushes in, will get one, but Goga, again with the very same peak from Prep, will get another for himself. Shatay now the last alive, and he is known to the Lesion. As he goes down those red stairs, he will likely die to Hungry. But no, actually, headshot landed there from Shatay. As he transitions to small, he'll be eliminated by Brit on the long angle. Vitality will take their first round.
This is a very different site with a lot more real estate that you are extremely hard-pressed to win in a 1vx unless the remaining members of the defense are sitting inside of the site and you are also in there. Given how long Shatay had to get into the site and how he wasn't really close, then, you know, I really can't have seen a scenario where Shatay was able to win that, especially with Vitality spread. So you go downstairs to a site that you need to win, and now you go back up top to where you were, I would argue, or should have been successful in the very first round, were it not for a major glaring oversight, which was watching over towards a spot that is referred to as heaven, which is the cocktail balcony. Redgrave is going to be on that Twitch again. He could do the same thing, but I have no doubt that Vitality's negligence isn't going to extend to that location. So, tie things up. Chaos gets rebuffed as they try to enter on in through Bakery. They did not drone, they did not use utility, and this, once again, this falls back into what Chaos is bringing. They're not bringing a Zofia. They're not bringing a Capital. Both of those operators are available. They're not bringing a Gridlock for possible disruption. They're not bringing a Dokkaebi. There are a lot of operators here that Chaos could be bringing to help nail down the location of the remaining Vitality defenders and or prevent them from winning straight heads-up gunfight. If you look back at round number 1, an inability to get your hard destruction to work inside a piano, meant that you just ran right into the gun sights of Vitality. And they won. They won every single fight, and then it became a 1v3 and Red Groove capitalized off of it, when really, he probably shouldn't have. You can't rest on your operator lineup there, because you didn't use your gadgetry or your utility to really win that round. Same thing with the second round. There were no stuns that could have been used behind the Bakery wall. There was nothing that could have been done from a long range because there's no Hibana on the board either. Right now, I don't think Chaos is bringing the right toolkit for what Vitality is deciding to use on defense.
An aggressive position from Vitality. Bibu attempting to hold on to the new drop and Cigar. This is going to be a really trying test, I suppose, for Bibu. But he's passed most of those in the past. So, put your faith in him. Vitality are. See if it works for them. Chaos still focusing on their Cigar and piano control. Typical stuff for Kafe. Castle spotted out by Pixel Spot. There are nades in Vito's hands, or pockets I should say. But he's not going to be pulling them out just yet because he knows there's likely an ADS protecting that castle. If you bring in a flash or two to clear the ADS, then the castle will likely run away.
It's another opportunity where Zofia could be able to take out that shield that you see the castle on. It's going to be Renewals, though, as he flashes up. You have to burn the ADS. Grenade launcher in hand, just waiting ever so patiently. I think he gets drawn out instead, and Renewals decides maybe I can take the engagement head on. Lots of patience right now from Chaos. First exothermic charge will go off. It'll be at the top of red stairs. Very minimal action. Outside of that, Chaos will flash themselves. Not as coordinated as they want to be, and with that, Sticky manages to get away. So you throw out the frag grenade. There goes the Vulcan shield. 1 minute on the clock, and you have to pause if you're Chaos.
They're doing just that. Trying to breach their way into the back bar storage. Secretly might be successful kind of easily, actually, for that one. There's no one to trick it, obviously, as Goga's not going to be able to do that. So that's good control there from Chaos established by opening up that wall. And they'll be able to use that as a great platform to attack on the site.
So that line of sight that's opened up will net a kill for Vitality, though, under Red Groove. So the star of the very first round, well, he's no more. The Twitch will have no heroics at all. The opening pick comes where the action is expected very soon, with Vitality in very similar position, except the X Factor is gone from Chaos. That could be very bad for this primarily Swedish team. Here's some more damage being done, this time to Renewals, who gets dropped. Vito runs on in. He sees the smoke, looks towards the bathroom. He doesn't know where anybody is. What a flick onto Hungry. 2 for Chaos, shut down by Brede onto Vito. Renewals picked back up. Shatay absorbing tons of damage. He gets gunned down. The Ash refrags, but it's Renewals in a 1v2, and he's not making it past the lumber by the top of White Stairs. Vitality holds on yet again. You should have seen them do that in round number 1. They'll do it in round number 3 instead.
Well, second time's the charm, as that is the second attempt there for the top floor from Vitality. I like that they took a breather and they went to a different bomb site in between those two different defenses upstairs. The way that that played out was very different for Chaos on the attacking side. They were not using the rappel on the cocktail balcony. They also were primarily just pushing in through those bottlenecks. Despite having opened up the back bar storage wall, they really didn't get much done with it. I'm surprised by that, by the way. The fact that Chaos opened up a wall to then hit another, that other wall being Team Vitality, with their guns up, ready, is, I mean, it's the same thing we saw technically in round number 1. But, again, that Hail Mary play from Redgroove just didn't come in this time.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Well done to Vitality, once again holding upstairs, managing to deal with those bottlenecks really well. Chaos very quick on the attack, to be honest, overall, but they just weren't winning those gunfights.
Yeah.
The angle play, excellent for Vitality.
I have to continuously point to the fact that Chaos are not bringing enough tools to really deal with it. You have something like a Zofia and an Ashe, you take out that shield where Stiggy is playing much faster. You didn't even really need the Buck for the soft destruction outside of what you did on the Humidor inside a Cigar. That was it.
The funny thing is they had the Ashe, but then the Ashe didn't do exactly what you're talking about. And it's like, why not? Because then you push him back. I think that maybe he did it later in the round, but at the beginning, yeah, there was an opportunity missed.
Now, I know we can be very critical of the operator lineups, and I know that Chaos, if they were to go on about what we are saying, would say, well, here's the reason why we continuously run this. You are handicapped by the fact that there is no Thatcher, but if you're Chaos, you banned the Thatcher. So you knew that you were going to be playing around him. You're expecting the Thatcher ban to be a thorn in the side of Vitality, not your own. In this case, Vitality is taking full advantage of the fact that there's a Thatcher ban, and they are running a Mozzie or a Mute almost every single round, sometimes together. That's not what you want to have to deal with if you're Chaos here, especially on a map that in many ways seemed to form the Mute and Mozzie meta. I don't know. We'll continue to watch now. I mean, it's half of the way through the defense for Team Vitality and half of the way, obviously, through the attack of Chaos. I don't know if they could be running better operators here. I mean, I think that a Zofia would probably be an ideal pick. C4 from Goga gets tossed out, though, as Chaos's entry into mining could possibly result in an opening pick for one of these teams. Renewal's on his belly as a frag grenade goes by. Does it connect? No. Renewals will circle around, sees the Mute of Goga, gets away with only 10 HP. That was a dangerous fight for Renewals to find himself in, but Chaos cracks the round open before it gets traded off by Bibu, who we've seen make his mark on Kafe Dostoevsky matches before.
Really impressive kill there from Bibu. Pre-firing on the expected angle from the Ashe, and, well, coming away with just 1 bullet, 1 kill. You've got the wall into Reading opened up there. You can see there's 1 player from Vitality holding on to Reading right now. Chaos are going to start droning that in. They'll find that player, and it'll be really hard to actually hold it. But Brid just gets aggressive and wins the fight against Secretly. Because Vito was on drone, he's not able to get the refrag, and that's allowing Brid to get 2. Then Sticky adds to it as Vito steps into the open in Pillars. They hadn't cleared out upstairs, and they get punished. Now it's just Redgroove in a 1v4. Can he do it 2 times in this match in 4 rounds? It'll be even more impressive in the 1v4.
I think it's safe to say that this round is over. So I think if you're Redgroove, you're probably better served at this point just sitting back and using this as a tactical timeout. Go up to the roof. You've got 45 seconds left. Speak with the rest of your team. Yes, you have the F2. Yes, it is a very good gun. You have 26 bullets, of which you only need a couple to be able to spray down somebody on defense. But is your time better not served? Not better served discussing it with your teammates. The red dot site's going to give you away, and you get shut down by Bride. Vitality will take their 3rd round in a row after a strong start to the round by Chaos, ultimately peters out and goes nowhere. I really think that you could have been better if you were Chaos to just take time. Go sit on the roof, discuss with your team, regroup, because Vitality is eating your lunch right now. On a defender-sided map that you don't particularly play on all that well, you are going down into a massive hole. Vitality could end up with an even greater lead as we continue to go through this matchup. Right now, I'm not necessarily confident, even with the 1 round that Chaos won. I am not necessarily confident that Chaos has the tools or the wherewithal to really do all that much. But thank goodness they will finally make a change. Off of the IQ, Shate will go with the Capitao, as it will be a kitchen defense, and those Capitao bolts are affected by gravity. You shoot them through the top over by freezer, they will fall to the ground, and the fire will spread on the ground. He's a very strong operator here. He can also be used to dislodge anybody playing behind the bakery because your ADS as a Jaeger does not stop it. I think this is the right call to make for Chaos, and I think it'll likely go better for them. Might not necessarily net them a win, but will at least give them a bit more of a fighting chance.
We'll see how it works for them on the kitchen defense. As you can see, a slightly defender-sided map overall with Kafe. We all knew that. Pretty common map to see played these days. It's surging in popularity. And since it's rather new in its construction, it's going to be defender-sided. Also, it just kind of feels like it is naturally a slightly defender-sided map. We see a lot of those, though, in Siege, so not an uncommon thing. The setup overall, pretty standard here. Looks like Bibu's going to play inside of Bakery once again. He had a great round last time. Vitality were defending on this site and was actually one of the, I'd say, the key pieces in Vitality's success here.
Upside down repel for Vito. I mean, Vito does love his buck play. They're not going to run the Zofia as regularly, so I mean, keep him on an operator he's obviously very comfortable on, and when you have your strategies set up around him, well, you can make it work. I'm just apprehensive. Here goes the Capital Firebolts. Designed to flush out the Jaeger. Can they capitalize off of it? Here comes Bibu as Chaos just runs on in, and that's the utility that you needed, but there was nobody behind the bakery as they'd gotten out of dodge as quickly as they could. If only he'd done that a couple of rounds earlier. I think that was both fire arrows, though, from Shate, so he's going to have the 2 smokes left for the execute to go off.
This is big. Red Roof being able to get those batteries without being punished, without the drone even being destroyed. That's lots of good control for Chaos.
It doesn't look like Goga's in a position to actively juggle either because all 4 of those bandit batteries were placed down. So there will go the wall leading in from the bakery, just towards the prep area. Another one of those 2 walls that no longer has a bandit battery behind the bakery counter. So that will be your next target if you are secretly. It's being actively played by Goga. Maybe he has picked up one of the bandit batteries, and maybe he is going to be in a position to trick it. But Goga's being distracted. He has a battery in hand. There goes another one. Vito playing this long-range play up from the 3rd floor, and Renewals is in so close that you're not really in a position to stop it. But it actually sounds like Goga might have gotten it. Did the exothermic charge go off? That's the real question. From our sounds, we didn't hear it. That doesn't mean anything, though. The wall is still closed, so wow. Goga must have gotten it. Not good coordination from Chaos, especially the buck above.
But even more impressive play from Goga. I gotta say, there are few bandits in this game that are gonna be able to actually hit that trick.
Of course, Goga, the ultimate support player. That opening right next to the red stairs being watched by Renewals. He's gonna miss that long-range fight, lose 25 HP in the process. He'll get droned in instead. Goga's playing close to the wall. Has the bandit been spotted? I think Goga's attention is elsewhere right now. So they'll double up on the push, heading on into kitchen. Down goes Hungry. Shate emerges, putting that parrot to good use. Frag grenade ready from Vito. His 3rd floor stint is dropped. There it goes. It'll catch Brede. Goga fires back, but there's only 2 left. Another for Goga. The number's slowly dwindling as he's inside a bakery. Diffuser's down. It's going to be all on Goga's shoulders. He has such low HP, he's going to have to watch this tight angle. 1v3. Position being given away, and Renewals with the marks. He'll pre-fire. Chaos wins it. They switch up their utility, and it pays dividends. They still had 3 people upright, and they will take the kitchen attack.
Well, despite Goga's efforts, it just wasn't enough. Vitality falling flat, and the reason for me that really stands out is way too many things opened. Like, I understand the idea behind having open angles, like, for example, the one leading to the red hallway, or the one leading into the white hallway, actually. But clearly it worked against Vitality. As Devin always likes to say, those angles go both ways, and in this case, Vitality played both of those holes that were opened by the defenders to great effect, from the red stairs and the white stairs, getting 1 kill from each, I believe, and that opens up the site pretty readily for the attack. From there, it was a really easy rush in for the rest of the Chaos members, as they had such a significant manpower advantage, and despite Vitality putting up a heck of a fight, or I guess I should say Goga putting up a heck of a fight, like I said, just wasn't enough. Now, Vitality still have a chance to end this half in a comfortable spot. A 4-2 on defense of Kafe is it's not a winning position necessarily, it's more like an expected position for you to find yourself in going into the second half. If this is a 3-3, Chaos can sit nice and comfortable as they go on to the more comfortable second half of defense.
I feel like we have to continue to remind people that this could very easily have been a 4-1 as well, though, with that first round, where Red Groove probably can't replicate that same success multiple times, and your entire strategy cannot hinge off of the fact that Vitality just either had a breakdown in communication or they didn't really look in your direction.
If we're going to reference old rounds, we should also make note of the fact that, just, you know, Red Groove's clutch aside, this has been the best site for Vitality.
Yes.
Because that one clutch, of course, being a standout, every single time Vitality goes here, sometimes they'll lose their players early on, but they just really do not lose the fights on those bottlenecks.
Yes. Well, with that said, you got another change from Chaos. They're going to keep the Capitao in their hands. However, they're going to run the Capitao on Red Groove, so the Twitch is not going to be necessary here. And I don't know how much success you were seeing with that Twitch drone, especially with a mute on the board. I would gather that the utility is not ideal. Bibu jumps out, he finds two. Vito and Renewals are gone, and that might be the round already.
Wow, I mean, Bibu's been saying, I don't care a lot. This match, oh wow, if that had worked, he did a lot of damage to Red Groove, but he didn't get the kill. Good refrag there from Red Groove, saving it.
Man, Bibu with... Those are the kind of plays that only somebody like him is able to pull off regularly. And, I mean, what was that one match that we saw in Kafe where he dropped like 18 kills or something like that? I can't remember.
He's a really good Kafe player.
It was a season or two ago.
Has been located.
It's been quite good.
Some players just excel on some maps, and this is definitely one of Bibu's.
Red Groove is also in a position where a couple tastes of a Maestro Cam. You can kill him with a Maestro Cam now without that Evil Eye losing itself to being overheated. He's far more susceptible, if secretly dies, to getting killed by a toxic canister. Even a goo mine or two will bring Red Groove down below half HP. There's a refrag later on. Takes a while. Shate finds Hungry, and while the toxic canisters we talked about are gone, over by the lumber. I don't know exactly why the smoke was playing in that position or why Hungry decided to get that aggressive, but you want to keep those toxic canisters, especially with the fact that Chaos have not been good at pushing into the site outside of a couple narrow avenues. There's an Evil Eye Cam that can spot secretly as he's dropped through the new hatch. Expecting somebody from Heaven to push him. He'll align with Red Groove now as Shate heads on in towards Piano, and all three members of Chaos are lined up on the west side of the map. 2 in Cigar, 1 in Piano. 2 exothermic charges left. You didn't need to use one on the wall leading to the top of Red.
So we've seen this situation before, and Vitality have been pretty good in this position in the past, so Chaos is the one that needs to put up some change.
Goga's just waiting patiently at the top of White. He'll take out secretly, but he's gone now. Shate unable to take out the goo mine. Another for Goga. And there goes Red Groove. Vitality will emerge 4-2 on their defensive half. As you said, not exactly great. It's pretty standard for Kafe.
But
still where you want to be if you're a team that hasn't had much success on Mondays.
Yeah, I'd say this has been one of the better matches on a Monday for Vitality so far. But it's not over yet. As we transition into the second half, Chaos has a lot of potential to turn this one around as they get to defend now. They'll go to the top floor in that effort. Kaid being brought. Vitality was a mute. For Chaos, it's a Kaid. And this is why the Thatcher ban was a thing. They're going to change the Bandit into a Mozzie. That makes a lot of sense because you need to use... the batteries aren't really going to help you when it comes to stopping, opening up the back bar storage wall. Not as much as the Kai Electroclaws will, because those Electroclaws prevent you, are prevented from getting shot from the skylight because you can put them high on the wall. Whereas the Bandit batteries, you can't do that. And the Mozzie is just, he's Mozzie. If you're not familiar, Mozzie is currently one of the, I think, more revered operators in Pro League, as he performs so many functions all in one. He's an information operator. He's a disruption operator. He slows down information gain to the enemy. He hurts the drone economy. He can bring a C4 or barbed wire, depending on what your team needs. He's got a great kit, 2 armor, 2 speed, so well balanced. I mean, overall, just an excellent operator who gets played so frequently. He's the sidearm shotgun. I mean, the list goes on.
Over-kitted, is my opinion. He has an awful lot with no downside, and you're foolish if you're not running him at this current stage in Rainbow Six, especially, I mean, on certain maps and certain sites, he doesn't really work that well, but he has no significant downside, and
He's good on this one, too, especially.
He's exceptionally good on Kafe. He's exceptionally good on Consulate.
Yeah.
And he's exceptionally good on certain sites on Clubhouse or even on Villa. So
This is on.
I mean, over-kitted is a way of saying that he has no downside. He has a really strong kit, and I think that, there is really no downside to him outside of the fact that maybe he just doesn't have an ACOG. That's it. I mean, and there's lots of people who don't have that. So
Yeah.
if you're looking at operator pick rates and play rates, I remember seeing a thing that was shared online a couple days ago. I don't know how accurate it is, but Mozzie was the second or third most played operator in all of the defenders, and that is astonishingly high.
Across all Pro League?
I believe so.
Wow, that's crazy. And, I mean, it's crazy, but it's not surprising in the least. He is a really powerful operator, but in this case, he has been lit up. That's Shate on low HP, blinking, actually, as we call it. He's been down now. Finished off by Hungry. And Brid's going to get renewals with an 8. So, oh, look at this.
When it rains, it pours, and Vitality, known for such a long period of time for having these sluggish executes, well, they have found a tempo that they like in this matchup, and 2 members of Chaos go down, and all they do is trade out 50% or so of Hungry's HP. Waiting for a spawn, or waiting for rather a flank up red stairs. Brede tries for the fake drop, and nobody bothers to take the bait. Because of the Mozzie being in play, though, you can tell that the drones are not where they need to be. There goes a Maestro Cam as well in front of Biboo's. He's found Veto. And the first defense for Chaos, not going the way it wants to.
No.
A little over a minute. Secretly will have to creep on up. Cannot control the SMG-11, and he'll get scared off, leaving only Red Groove in a position to get picked away at on the wall. He'll find himself being greeted by Biboo, and then Secret Lane Red Groove will just simply wait. This is tough going for them. SMG-11 will find Brede. Down he goes.
It's a weird decision from Brid. The curious thing about this is there's still a minute left in the round in this 4v2. Vitality does not need to rush themselves right now, and if they do, they might find themselves losing the round, as we see these last 2 defenders just holding these bottlenecks.
In mind with the Evil Eyes and the Toxic Canisters, both Hungry and Biboo are very susceptible to being felled by the gadgets of Chaos. 40 seconds, and as you noted, you don't need to hurry. I think Vitality has heeded that warning. They've still got Utility. There's 1x Kairos left. Utility dump in the back. Down goes Secretly. Tribana trying to trade off Red Groove as he manages to find one, but that'll be it. Vitality pick up their 5th round. They are barnstorming through Kafe, and Chaos just looking like this is not their map. There might have been a reason why they didn't play it all that often.
Not done yet, but this is certainly looking like it's going to be one of the bigger moments for Vitality on a Monday. Now, it'll be a kitchen defense from Chaos. Like Vitality, after losing the top floor the first time around, Chaos is going to try the bottom floor. They're not going to stick firm on one thing over and over and over again. And that's smart. It's really the way to play this game. If you cannot win something, then think about it over the course of another round on a different site. And those the Chaos will bring out as they go downstairs. There is a pulse being switched out for a Mozzie. Again, what we expect. I mean, why not make it seem like you've got a pulse and then also bring the Mozzie? Because if they know you have a Mozzie in the reveal phase, then they're going to be more cautious with their drones in the prep phase. And then if they think you have a pulse, they're going to be more cautious to the action phase. So it's a double effect, kind of, in that 6-pick.
Yeah. It's one of the advantages of a system like 6-pick is the fact that you can play mind games when it comes to sites. One of the favored ones from a lot of teams is Castle. You'll pick a certain site and then show a castle, and people will say, oh, you're not going here, because nobody would run a castle on it, for example. A lot of teams used to do that on Armory on Border, the site that's upstairs on the 2nd floor. You run a castle, and then you 6-pick off of it. A lot of teams might think, oh, they're starting downstairs on Ventilation Workshop. Let's get our feet under us. Not the case. So there is potential there for mind games. At this point, Chaos is going to need everything they can get. Because while the scoreline isn't as lopsided as it could be, Vitality have looked like the better team in nearly every round. With the exception of the one time where Chaos changed things up and brought the Capitao kitchen take, it has been Vitality almost every step of the way. And they've looked surgical on their take in the cocktail in the previous round, Chaos's very first defense. I don't know how good of an entry this is going to be for Vitality, as there goes an Evil Eye Cam, but it misses. Biboo aiming a little bit too quickly, and in his haste, he will lose a very important part of his toolkit, which is one of those impacts. Veto, though, finds Stiggy. Chaos needs more of this. Look at the opening pick. They need to keep it up.
You can see that Vito's challenging more over by White Garage. There's potential for him to do some serious damage, but Brit is watching for it.
And they got him under drone. Now it's Red Groove that's being found out. Frag grenade in hand, bait the yellow stairs. There it goes at the feet of the Mozzie. Vito takes a bit of damage, but he's still able to walk it off. So head farther up white stairs and not bother to engage. What that means is that Red Groove playing over by coat check, or VIP as I believe it's officially called, he's going to have no real protection. This drone work from Vitality is not really being slowed down by the fact that there's a Mozzie on the board, but Bibu is aware that he's being watched by a Maestro cam, and if his silhouette gets spotted, well, he's in dire straits. He hears something he doesn't like, and he'll immediately turn and watch towards the stairs, of which Vitality has zero control. They do not know what is laying in wait.
Yeah, it's interesting that this is still 4 people alive for Vitality, but they have very little control over anything. The moment of truth is going to arrive, though. As Bibo gets a kill onto the red stairs, Red Groove will get hungry over by VIP. And there's another one for Vitality as Red Groove in VIP is eliminated. Vitality now, even man count, but they still got to deal with the flank of white stairs.
Goga doesn't need to go anywhere. That Type 89 can easily chew through what little is left of Vito with a shot or two, but Goga looks away at the last moment. Can Vito be able to capitalize off of this? Will somebody from Vitality be committed to holding that angle in a 3v3? You'll put yourself in a bad spot if you don't have proper flank watch. There goes the Hibana, but Vito just narrowly misses it. That's good for Goga and good for fans of this French Vitality squad, as now it's a move over towards Bakery. The call has been made, and the IGLing of Vitality will bring their soldiers towards a different part of the map. Obviously happy with the control they've been able to get towards the front of A-bomb site. They'll run on in, and Bride takes down Vitality. Down goes Bibu as Vito is removed. C4 from Shate connects. Bride has been the best player for Vitality so far, but he's flying in blind, not able to beat Secretly, and Chaos desperately needed that round. They'll get it. They got to hang tight.
It's actually really surprising because Chaos had 2 of their 3 players push towards the kitchen side of things. And by kitchen, I mean towards the freezer. But despite having those 2 players on the freezer side, and only one holding onto the kitchen, actually, Chaos was allowed to rotate to kitchen. So when it came to the actual push from prep, Vitality not covering the rotation, they left themselves kind of exposed to that hard hold from Chaos. So we are not going to see match point yet for Vitality, but we're still close. Chaos will go back to the top floor for their second attempt. This is not looking good for Chaos, yes.
No.
As these rounds come very close.
I bet Vitality is still kicking themselves, though you have to put it out of your mind if you're a team that wants to play at this level, that this could be match point for Vitality if they just simply had somebody watch Heaven.
I mean, this match could be over for a
mean,
number of different ifs. You know, like little small things.
I mean, sure, but I think the one round that really does, the 2 rounds that have been won by Chaos, the previous round and then round number 5, I think were very definitively strong rounds from Chaos. I think those are the only good rounds that they've had so far. I think things utterly fell apart in the very first round, and they were saved by a really strong performance from one member of their team in a play that you don't get away with often and you can't replicate. So yeah, I mean, it could be a 6-2. I'm wondering if reading is the play here for Chaos. I mean, I would have liked to have maybe seen a cocktail defense yet again, because teams win cocktail very well. If you relinquish control of that 3rd floor, if you lose it, then Vitality is going to be able to make mincemeat of you up there. They've got both a sledge and a bug. And then if they really want to add insult to injury, they've got a Zofia and maybe even breaches in the hands of an IQ. So there's lots of soft destruction, but no, it's a Claymore from Bibu, so you don't need to worry about that. But you still got those 2 explosives from the lifeline. There's a lot that Vitality can do with that 3rd floor control that Chaos will have to fight against. And naturally, Chaos putting a lot of players up on that 3rd floor in order to prevent Vitality from being able to take control of it. That drone just comes short. That must be very frustrating for Bibu as he tries to skip over a mute jammer as we get things underway with round number 9. 2nd floor defense for Chaos, and match point is here for Vitality if they win.
Reload.
Vitality are just setting up right now. Ooh, opportunity missed there from Brid. But at least he put in the effort. He's holding the angle. He'll scare off the player who was downstairs. There is one player on the defense of Chaos in stage, and he has just been droned out, whether he knows it or not. That's Renewals. He now is exposed. There's a lot of potential for Vitality to capitalize on the positioning from the Jaeger. And you'll see Renewals is playing a little bit more aggressive now. He's going back and forth between prone and peeking the angle. He can catch somebody on the drop and get a pretty easy kill here, and he will do just that as Brid drops down, dies to the Prophecy. Hungry setting up a nade, getting ready to deal with that Jaeger. Repositioning, though, from Renewals. Goga's going to get Chate elsewhere. Will it be more for Renewals? It looks like no, as Goga finally shuts him down. Goga's been having an amazing match so far, and that double piece is going to bring Vitality back into the lead of this round.
Just ever trying to remind people of the fact that his being dropped from G2 will probably be one of the more contentious moves that we look back upon in European Pro League for quite some time, so...
Yep.
Very, very good. Anyway, Vitality with their Wrecking Crew above, they now move towards the second floor because they don't have as much time as they would have liked. They have an advantage still. Chaos might be able to capitalize off of Goga not looking to the left, and that's exactly what will happen. Hungry losing the fight to Red Groove above, and Vitality all of a sudden have not done their homework onto that third floor. You can very clearly tell that they're lost, and Chaos finding their pulse. Still left on the body of this matchup. Diffuser is down, and Bibu's going to walk in. He sees the smoke, takes the head off. He'll have to head on in and start to plant. He doesn't look, though, and it's been a drop into the laundry room in long range with the TCSG. It's Vito to close the door and any possible ability for Vitality to come back. 2 in a row from Chaos, and they've put together 2 impressive rounds, not just barely winning, but looking dominant while doing so.
So yeah, I agree with you, what you were saying during the round. Really, it's just Vitality didn't clear out the top floor. They didn't clear out the entirety of the top floor, and then they got torn apart from the top floor. Red Groove on Cocktail Balcony putting in work on that Maestro. Was also the double we saw. It was a smoke managed to get in by Pillars. I really don't know how he got away with that. It likely was due to the support of Red Groove from Cocktail Balcony. But what we do know is that regardless of how or why, Vitality came out underneath there for one key reason. They didn't finish the clear upstairs. And, you know, it's okay if you don't want to finish the clear upstairs if you're, like, attacking onto dining. But Vitality decided they wanted to go into open area. And you can't use open area if you haven't cleared out cocktails. So that's just a little bit confusing for an attacking strategy. I'll go to the top floor now for Chaos Esports. See how they do up here. Last time they were here, they lost it, if I recall correctly. So this could be an opportunity for Vitality to secure that match point. It was weird. We haven't really seen...
10 seconds left.
We haven't been seeing a lot of draws lately. Close matches, yeah, but...
Very minimal draws.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good from an entertainment standpoint. There are a large portion of people in the community who just simply don't like draws.
Yeah.
So for them, I'm sure it's fine.
Oh, I'm not... I think it's a bad thing. I'm just saying no observation.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. I was like, is this going to be one of those matches that goes to the draw? You know, there's a possibility for it, sure. But... I don't know. It's like it just doesn't happen very often anymore. Now, of course, after I said that, it will happen.
I mean, for Vitality, even I would suspect a draw would be a victory, given the way that they usually perform on Mondays. They're able to get a single point. I'd take it if I'm a fan of Vitality. V might be for victory, but I mean, D for draw, that's fine. Why not? Down goes Stiggy. Chaos down below. He catches an entry from Stiggy, who tries to crawl through the door, and, well, he doesn't bother to drone, I imagine. Stiggy has been a top performer for Vitality so far this season. Alongside Bibu, they have both been putting in significant work, Bride as well. And Stiggy finds himself middle of the pack, very firm for Vitality. It's been Bride, and as you mentioned, Goga leading the way for this team. So Vitality will toil in a 4v5 for the remainder of this round. If Chaos wins, we're going to need every single round to send this one home. Vitality will go back onto drones. There's no Mute on the board. There's no Mozzie on the board. There is no reason why you, Vitality, should really have that big of a hardship to gain further ground and information against your opponents. Maybe this setup here, as you can see, lots of soft destruction from Chaos, will give some pause to Vitality, but overall, you shouldn't have the same level of challenge as you would against a very standard lineup when you look at a Mute Mozzie combo on the third floor of Kafe.
Well, right now, Vitality playing these angles, haven't seen success until Bridge shows up, and he gets a double piece. What an interesting start to the round for Vitality, is 2 people of Chaos peeking the new drop and losing the fight.
Renewals will start to do a little bit of damage at the top of White Stairs, but everything is coming down around them now as the house that Chaos built is a bit shaky foundation, and then it comes crumbling. As Vitality will move to match point. They'll take round number 10. They barnstorm on in, and maybe that's why you don't go to Cocktail if you're Chaos. They knew something we didn't know. Kitchen is opened back up, though, and it was successful for Chaos last time. I would suspect that's exactly where we're going to see Chaos go.
Very likely to be the case, as that has been the better site for Chaos. The top floor has been really a struggle for Chaos's hold so far. But then again, this whole match feels like a bit of a struggle for Chaos overall. In that last round, they started off with the lead. Then suddenly, 2 people are peeking, and oh, they're dead. Brid got him with the G36C on Ash. And it just got even worse from there. Vitality opens up even more angles, start winning in so many gunfights that it just overwhelms Chaos. And we're seeing that be the story for this match, the majority of these rounds, where it'll come up to a kind of a boiling point in the round, where it could go either way. There's a large stack of people on both sides. And then always, almost always at least, Vitality wins in the eventual collapse. When it boils over, Vitality comes out on top in these giant team fights. When it comes down to the, only a few people on both teams, Chaos will edge out just barely. But if Vitality can get a proper execution going, there doesn't seem to be much that Chaos can do to deal with it. That's a big if, though. We've always talked about how Vitality tend to have the kind of attack structures that are, that can be picked apart. If you just get a little bit aggressive here, apply the right pressure there, if you're a defensive team playing against Vitality. And we see that being utilized by Chaos, where they get that 1 or 2 little picks here and there, and they leverage enough control to throw the angle play into whack for Vitality. And once that happens, it's hard for Vitality to really recover around. And oddly, their angle play becomes really poor. The highlight I would use to describe this is actually the last time Chaos went to Kitchen, because they were attacking through the White Garage. They couldn't deal with the player on the White Stairs. So what did they do? They rotated over to Bakery. Oh, fine. That's well and good. There's 2 people on the freezer side of that bomb site. So cut off the rotation, but they didn't. And they let the players rotate, and they lost the fights.
Oh, that's a good opening pick for Vitality, as Renewals and Bibu end up just on opposite sides of the wall, and Vitality gets the pick that they need to give themselves the advantage on match point. This also is a call that's been made from Renewals to Veto, who's not too far off of Bibu, and now being droned down. Bibu gets spotted, but he's going to engage. The Lion will freeze the Mozzie. Bibu losing most of that fight, and then has to put away the AR because he's all out of bullets. Little Mozzie is still trapped inside of there, and you can hear 2 separate members of Vitality looking for him now. Stiggy will sneak on up. That's a missed flash, and then Vito gets finished off. That's a calamity, but Red Groove, where do you come from? All the way onto Red Stairs. He'll gun down Bibu. Could have possibly frozen him in place with an E1D if it was still available, and Red Groove will snap onto the head of the Lion if he walks up towards the bottom of the stairs. Vitality will have to go back onto drones now.
I might be aware of, actually. Oh, no, maybe they didn't spot. No. Okay, looks like they did spot the Maestro on drone, so that's good awareness from Vitality. The nade comes out after the E1D, and there's the down. Beautiful teamwork from Vitality, using that utility in tandem.
This is an excellent round, and one of the best that we've seen from Vitality on their attacks, as they are just methodically finding every member of Chaos and absolutely pinching them, punishing them, leaving only 2 members of Chaos down below on the site. They've got good denial, though. Presumably, Shate's got that C4 in hand to stop a plant from going off. And secretly, one of the toxic canisters. He's still got all of them. So you're chalked to the gills now. It's going to be a hot drop, though. There's no way they're going to get away with this. They're all hot dropping from the freezer. 3 members drop down. Secretly will gun through 1. Gets a second. Vitality, I don't know why you tried to do this. You might have just lost yourself the round. Down goes Secretly, then Shate in a 1v2 for Chaos to try and maximize what they can with a single point. Is there information? We can hear the diffuser going down. C4 gets tossed out, but it's not able to be pulled in time. Vitality by the skin of their teeth. Things started to look bad for them that round. But you got to thank Hungry. Beautiful shot. Vitality, they'll get their first win on a Monday.
Not just Hungry, but Goga as well, who managed to get secretly in the site. A really big win there for Vitality, and a strong performance from them on attack especially. While their defensive side was 4-2, overall, I gotta say, I'm more impressed by the attacks that Vitality managed to string together. Look at that performance from Brit as well. 16 kills. Impressive stuff.
I don't think anybody performed badly on Chaos, so you definitely cannot point a finger at them. However, there were a lot of rounds where Chaos just did not seem comfortable. We'll always go back, and I'm going to go back to that very first round where it really should have been a Vitality victory, and Red Groove wins the round for them single-handedly. Outside of that, it would have been a 5-1 for Vitality. Who knows how that would have translated, because then it would have been a 6-1 after the 7th round. You have essentially your foot on the throat of Chaos at that point. Are you okay?
I am okay.
You're okay.
I might be
You're okay.
a little
sick. Yes. Anyway.
Yeah. But I'm okay.
I think it took Chaos way too long to make some changes on attack. Way too long. And then when they finally did, they picked up a round from it. But if they had brought that lineup earlier on, this could have been a much closer matchup.
I think it has to do with the lineup partially. I think it also has to do with Chaos's inability to really push the issue when it comes to stuff like the angle play from Vitality. It seems like if you look really closely at the way that Vitality plays, especially on attack, they set up a structure, and that structure is, somewhat fragile. Sometimes, if you punch it in the right place, you can just throw it all into whack, and it's hard for Vitality to recover. But they're getting better at compartmentalizing that. I think a really great highlight of that compartmentalization is the EE1D nade combo on the white stairs to deal with Red Groove, who was above. That was a serious issue. Red Groove could have stayed there, but a thorn in the side of the attack for the rest of the round, possibly pushing it further and further towards a draw. But they figured out the issue by droning it, and that teamwork was perfect.
Yeah. So we're just waiting on the interview here for Vitality. I haven't got an interview yet because of Mondays, of course. I can't remember the last time I actually interviewed Vitality because I was off for the second half of Pro League prior to Raleigh, so it must have been like in the summer. I probably would have been when I interviewed like Bibu or somebody like that, I would guess. But
I remember Bibu being on the screen while I was sitting here.
Could be. So Vitality at 9 points. They'll pick up 3 more. They'll shoot up along with G2 to 12 points, which would mean that they're going to be right behind Empire. So the spread right now should look like 15 points for Rogue, 13 points for Empire, 12 points for G2, 12 points for Vitality. You're going to have 6 points for Chaos. Fours will still sit at, I think they had 6 points as well. So BDS, who also I believe were at 9 points, if I remember correctly. They might have been above that. They might have been at 10. I think they can tie Empire for second. If my arithmetic is correct, and obviously I don't have the standings in front of me right now, so I can't go off it, but Na'Vi is our next matchup, so BDS versus Na'Vi, that's going to be a barn burner.
Well, hopefully. I mean, the big thing is that Na'Vi has had a train wreck of a season, an absolute train wreck, and the reason why I say that, why I use such drastic wording, is because they won the last season, and then now they're last, I think, right now?
Dead last. But we have an interview ready with Hungry from Vitality, so we'll bring it up, and we'll get to talk to them about the curse of the Mondays. How are you? Congratulations on your very first victory today.
Hello, Parker. Thank you.
Now, I want to start with the first map that you went to, Kafe.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos's record on Kafe basically does not exist. They ban it often. They do not have a strong stat line on it. Do you think that they were anticipating trying new things against you, given that it's one of your better maps statistically over the past season? Or do you think it was just them not expecting you to go to Kafe against them?
I think we knew every strat of them, and just like one strat they didn't take. And it worked out pretty good. Like, we had a really good analyst against them, and we just like droned how they play, and then saw, they're gonna do this strat, and we exactly knew how to adapt.
Yeah, do you think that their inability to change up their composition, we noted it a couple times, the fact that they weren't bringing a Zofia, they weren't bringing a Capitao for the longest while, do you think that hindered them in being able to work against you?
Not really. I think, like, we knew that they're gonna ban Setcher, so we kind of adapt our defense strat, so we don't really need to counter the Capitao. We just played with a lot of mute jammers and Kaid, for example. Oh, actually, we didn't play Kaid, right? Yeah, we didn't play Kaid, but yeah.
Yeah, what happened on that very first round where Red Groove swung on in and killed all three of you? Was that just bad communication or just a blind spot in your defense?
I can't really remember. Was it the first round?
It was the very first round. It was a 1v3, and Red Groove swung in through Cocktail, Heaven Window, and then killed the Maestro, and then killed two more of you, one of whom was playing in Bar Backstore.
I don't really know right now, sorry.
If you can't remember, then obviously it wasn't of that great a significance. Now, I know that Gassan asked Lilun about this on Wednesday, but I want your take on it too. You've broken the curse. You picked up a victory on Monday.
Finally.
What other steps are you taking to ensure consistency when it comes to play days for the next half of the season? Because you finish very close to the top of the standings in Europe now.
I mean, sadly, we're not going to Invitational, so we have more time to prepare every new strats and prepare the new operators, which might be coming. So, we have a lot of time to prepare and, get good strats.
Well, it worked out for you today, and it's a good note to end this half of the season on. Anything to say to the fans, the viewers, etc. at the end of the interview?
It's my first interview, Pro League interview. I'm kind of nervous, but thank you guys for your support, and thank for all the people which believed us on a Monday. Yeah.
Well, you did a great job. So we'll give you a clap. Always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm bummed that you won't be at the Invitational, but best of luck improving over the next little while and getting everything under you, and we'll see you back here for the second half of the season.
Thank you, Park. Bye-bye.
Thank you.